Okay, so I went ahead and paused it while I finished that journaling, but it's done now. And obviously it's too big. So I'm going to shrink that down. And I also don't want that bold, I want that regular text. And you just play with it until it fits the space that you want. Now another thing that you can do to adjust the look of your text is change the leading. The leading is the space between lines. So I'm going to make that just slightly smaller. Oh, actually I liked it better before. So I'm going to undo that. To undo it, you can either just go back up here and click 16 again, or you can hold Control and press Z. And that's going to undo what you just did. Control Z is probably the most important shortcut you can learn. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that, and you'll see that all of my text is justified. That means that all of the left edges are aligned, all of the right edges are aligned. To do that, I'm going to show you. Left aligned is the default. To justify it, you're just going to click anywhere in that text box and hold Control-Shift-J, and that's going to automatically justify your text for you. Okay, so that's everything that I want on the layout. I'm going to show you how to line everything up and add your shadows, and then we'll be done. So I want everything on the page to be centered. It looks pretty good right now, but I know that if I choose all of the layers and align horizontal centers, there, you can see that it changed it just a touch. So now everything's lined up, and I'm going to add a shadow. Let's just start with this blue layer. Now the shadow effects can be found in this third icon over in your Artworks and Effects palette. This is your effects, filters, and layer styles. Shadows, beveling, those are all layer styles, and that's the second item in this drop-down menu. Drop shadows, second item. And I usually start with a low shadow. Just double click and you'll see that added the shadow. Now you can leave it just like that, or you can manipulate it a little bit, and I usually like to do that. So I'm going to double click on this little layer style indicator, and this lighting angle, that changes the direction of the shadow. So for instance, if I have it here, your lighting is coming from the lower right corner. The default is 120, which means it's coming from the upper left corner. So you can either specify the angle by actually typing in the number there, or just by moving this little indicator. The shadow size, I'm just going to leave it 21. The distance I usually reduce. Now depending on the element that you're adding a shadow to, you know, a heavier item is going to have a larger shadow. A lighter item like paper is going to have a smaller shadow. For this layout, I'm just going to make everything the same. I'm going to reduce the opacity a little bit. Click OK. Now I want to apply that same shadow to all of my layers. So rather than repeating all of those steps individually, I'm just going to click on that paper layer, go up to Layer, Layer Style, and copy it. Now I can select all of the other items, the journaling box, and again I'm holding the Control key to select these items. The snowflake, the photos, and that border. I'm going to go back up to Layer, Layer Style, and select Paste. And you'll see that that same shadowing was applied to all of the layers. So that's it. I'm going to save it now, File, Save As, and later on in the course we'll get into, you know, the different things you want to save. For instance, you'll want to save a PSD layered file so that if you have any changes, for instance, you see a typo in your journaling, you decide you want to replace a photo, you want that layered file so that you can go back in and make those corrections. If you want to have the layout printed, or you want to upload it to an online website, to the 2Ps gallery for instance, then you're going to want a JPEG for that. So later on we'll get into saving the different files and also organizing your elements and your layouts. So that's it for this class. I hope you enjoyed it. I apologize. This is my first class, so hopefully each month will get a little better. But if you have any questions, be sure to ask us on the education board, and I can't wait to see what you do. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.